Dear readers, I had a lot of fun catching up on GH after a week in fabulous Las Vegas. Yeah, I know. But we booked our trip pre-Delta variant. Our entire group of 15 travelers was vaccinated. We stuck together and tried our best to stay safe. We didn't stay on the Strip. We prefer the homey feel of the downtown Grand near Fremont Street, where we have stayed for several years. I had good intentions of watching GH every day, but my friends were in the pool with cocktails, and it would have been rude not to join them. They excel at frozen cocktails, and I noticed when they opened their freezer, it just had ice. Meanwhile, the creepy GH freezer finally opened, and it didn't contain a frozen Peter popsicle. Instead, it was filled with some sort of mattress. Why? But no dead body and, oddly enough, no blood. They found a few drops of blood on the floor and stairs, but that snowy white mattress in the bottom had 0 blood spots. We saw that puddle of blood coming from his head at the bottom of the stairs. One would assume that dried blood matted to his hair would have left a few bloody strands on the bottom of the freezer. A lady on Twitter posted this week that she knew her neighbor was watching GH this week because she heard her yell, "Open the $% freezer already." It was that sort of week. We all wondered for months now if Peter would be in that freezer when it opened. I mean, we saw him go in. We saw his body lying in the freezer. I wiped my hands and said, "That's it. Peter's dead." Because the rule on soaps is that if there isn't a body, there isn't a death. The missing body can come back at any time. Carly didn't find Sonny's body, and as we know, he's happily tending bar at the Tano while everyone thinks he is dead. But with Peter, we saw him at the bottom of the stairs with a bloody head. 2 medical professionals took his pulse and declared him dead. We saw his limp body stuffed in a freezer. Dead, right? Yeah, wrong. I now assume that Peter is alive. He somehow came to, climbed out of the freezer, took the elevator to the GH roof, and hired a new chopper pilot to whisk him away. If Peter's cell phone battery lasted that long, I really must know what phone he has because mine would not have survived even a day without charging. If he's not alive, who would have dragged his body out of the freezer and moved it, and why? Indeed, we know it wasn't Jason because he found an empty freezer, too. Seeing as how it's August, and Halloween is just a couple of months away now, I bet they can drag this out until October. Readers, I'm going to put the freezer up there with the moss. GH needs to have an Emmy category for the best prop. We saw that freezer so many times, and probably half of America was yelling, "Open the $% freezer already." Kirsten Storms is out on medical leave, possibly for an extended time. I wonder how long Bailey will be left in the loving arms of Valentine in Brooklyn? Brooklyn is falling for Bailey even though she knows the truth that Bailey is Louise. On the other hand, Valentine does not know and is just as much a devoted dad to Bailey as he is to Charlotte. By the way, where is Charlotte? I am assuming they are keeping the kids off the set due to COVID concerns. Still, I was somewhat anticipating scenes of the evil side of Charlotte being jealous of her new baby sister. It's getting to be quite the packed house at the Q Mansion. Valentine, Brooklyn, and kids, Chase recuperating from his poisoning, and now, possibly new cousin Austin. I mean, after all, they did invite him to Wiley's birthday party. The next step is a bedroom in the East Wing, right? Readers, I'm a little torn about this storyline. I really loved Liz and Franco. When they killed off Franco and turned Roger Howarth into Austin Holt, I had to ask myself why. Franco was a compelling character, an artist who was a serial killer due to a brain tumor. He had the tumor removed and became an upstanding member of society and a good husband and dad. He was an art therapist who helped others overcome trauma. Austin? He seems like a happy-go-lucky kind of guy, an excellent doctor caring for his patients. He maybe wants to cash in on his connection to the Q family. But is there more? I'm interested in finding out, but right now, I am still shaking my head that TPTB on GH decided to kill Franco, one half of a beloved soap couple, but, in truth, there have been many decisions they have made recently that leave me shaking my head. Like what? You ask? Like breaking up Ava and Nick just as they were becoming a super couple. Like pairing Jason and Britt, only to break them up. Like keeping Sunny in Hogswaller Falls or whatever the hell it is for so many months. Like breaking up Curtis and Jordan. Like losing Julian. Like losing Lulu. I know you can and probably will add many more items to this list. The idea of let's shake things up can be a good one, but not all at once. Perhaps when sweeps time comes, and they reunite all the broken couples, I will feel different. But I'm not sure how easy that's going to be. For instance, everyone in town says, Sunny would be so happy that Jason and Carly are getting married. I am not so sure about that. I can see Sunny yelling, son of a bitch, and throwing a decanter of booze across the room. He hates betrayal, and I think Sunny might feel betrayed that his wife and BFF just stopped looking for him and started a new life together. That having been said, I like the chemistry between Mike and Nina. There's a sweetness to their relationship that touches me, even though I think Nina is a piece of trash for not telling Sunny's kids he is alive and well. But in Nina's defense, when Mike says things like I don't want the old guy to come back, he scares me. I can almost cut Nina some slack. At first, her motive was to stick it to Carly, but I think that she genuinely cares for Mike now and thinks she is helping him to have a better life. When GH recast Michelle Stafford with Cynthia Watrose, it was a hard transition for me. I wasn't crazy about Nina and Valentine anymore. I didn't have a lot of interest in Nina and Jax, but I do like Nina with Mike, even though I know it's all going to blow up in some horrible mess. When they took a selfie, I wondered if Mike would make himself an Insta and post the selfie for the world to see. After Sunny becomes Sunny again, I hope that he remains friends with Nina after the anger fades. She can explain that she thought she was saving him from a life he told her that he didn't want. But don't think that will be possible due to the whole betrayal thing. The only potential for that is if Mike sleeps with Nina, and she miraculously gets pregnant and becomes one of his many baby mamas. Then perhaps he won't kill her. Spencer misses his Uncle Sonny, and I suspect he will be delighted when it turns out Sonny is alive. Poor Spencer, this happens to him a lot. Family members die, and then they come back. You can kind of see why he's such a mess. Readers, I really like Nicholas Alexander Chavez. I love Nicholas J. Bechtel, age 16, as much as anyone. But I think it's okay to like new Spencer without it meaning any disrespect to old Spencer. The fact is that GH'd all the kids in this group. Cam, Joss, and now Spencer have all been replaced with older actors. If Emma came back, they'd have to recast her, too. Brooklyn Raysilser is 15, and they'd have to cast a young college-aged lady to keep up with her peers. I think Nicholas Chavez is doing a great job and holding his own with Cam, Joss, Trina, and all the adults in Spencer's life. I know he was probably brought in as a troublemaker, but I think there is some genuine tenderness in there, too. I don't buy his truce with Ava. We are reasonably sure Spencer is the stalker, but hey, maybe we are wrong. Now that we find out that Ryan Chamberlain is not at a maximum security prison, but rolling around in a co-ed minimum security prison, it's entirely possible that he could be sneaking out, making creepy Bill-Day bears and whatnot. Nicholas went to visit Alexis, and they had a big discussion about Ava's stalker within earshot of the supposedly zoned-out Ryan. Still, I think I saw one corner of a creepy Grinch-like smile creep onto his face. What a leisurely day of work for John Lindstrom. Just sit in a chair and stare off into space. Again, Halloween is only 2 months away. But maybe Ryan will show up at Spencer's teen blowout bash instead. I am confident that the party will not go well. Maybe Hayden will show up and tell everyone that Nicholas tried to have her killed. Maybe Uncle Sonny will show up as Mike to see Nina. Maybe Granny Helena will come out of the tunnels under Windermere to see her great-grandson. You just never know. Okay. Let's try to explain the questions I saw on Twitter yesterday. The big question being, who is Jonah? Michael and Nell had a baby and named him Jonah. Will had a baby and gave him up for adoption, and Brad and Lucas adopted him and called him Wiley. The baby Brad and Lucas adopted died, and Nell switched baby Jonah for baby Wiley. Nell told Michael their baby died. Jonah is the baby we know as Wiley. When Michael got custody of his son, he didn't change his name back. The baby buried in the cemetery with the nameplate of Jonah is Willow's dead baby. Still, no one knew that at the time of the funeral. So, to recap, Wiley is really Jonah, and Jonah's grave holds the baby Brad and Lucas named Wiley. Who is the mystery woman at Jonah's grave? Bets are that it is Willow's mom, Harmony. Some guessed Nell, but I don't know why Nell would visit Willow's dead son. The last time we saw Harmony, she worked for Cyrus Renault, so it's hard to say what sort of shenanigans she is up to these days. Did Harmony take over Cyrus' drug ring? Is she a friend or foe? We don't know. Dear readers, I have 2 more pages of notes and very little time left on my deadline clock to write, so I must stop here, even though I have so much more I want to say. What will happen tomorrow, dear readers? Will Stella throw the signed divorce papers into the Port Charles harbor? Will Chase, please, record an album of lullabies? Will Carly and Jason get married at Queen of Angels? Will Sean laugh out loud the next time Carly offers him a job, since the last time he worked for them, he landed in prison for a crime he didn't commit? Will Lulu wake up from her coma that day after Sam and Dante make love? Will the GH writers stop rewriting history and realize avid viewers have long memories about GH storylines past? Will Spinelli start a YouTube channel teaching people how to hack supposedly unhackable hospital cameras? Will Britt and Terry get to be BFFs when they become co-chiefs of staff? Will Brooklyn fall for Chase as he sings to her pretend daughter? Will Gladys working for deception turn her into GH's version of Gloria from The Young and the Restless, and will she become a mogul? Will Ava be hiring any more help at the gallery? Because she seems like a great boss. I'd love to get paid to go to the pool. Will Scotty tell Liz she's going to sing? Will Joss and Cam's budding romance make it through the summer, or will Spencer stand in their way? Will Carly stop daydreaming about all her fabulous rings and start whining about not having any good coffee again? Will Spinelli, being single, mean he and Maxine will try and love again once she comes back? Will Liz and Finn learn not to talk about Peter Popsicle in open parks where people can hide behind trees and overhear? Only tomorrow knows, dear readers, and I will tune in tomorrow as long as there are tomorrows. Tanalu, what are your thoughts on General Hospital? What did you think of this week's 2 Scoops? We want to hear from you, and there are many ways you can share your thoughts. 2 Scoops is an opinion column. The views expressed are not designed to be indicative of the opinions of Soap Central or its advertisers. The 2 Scoops section allows our Scoop staff to discuss what might happen and what has happened, and to share their opinions on all of it. They stand by their opinions and do not expect others to share the same point of view. Ad block test, why?